Alexis Wisenhunt, and this is my audience for tonight. This is Jake, Parker, Creed, my mom, and my dad. So if you've ever been interested in learning the game of volleyball, this speech is something you're going to want to listen to. Volleyball is a very popular sport for men and women anywhere from grade school to college and even professionally. I started playing volleyball when I was 10 years old, and I've been in love with the game ever since. Starting off, I will cover the positions on the court. Secondly, I will talk about all of the rules in the game. And lastly, I will talk about how important reaction time is in the game. To start off, let's cover the positions of players and what each of their responsibilities are. There are 6 players on the court at all times. These players will most likely always include a setter, a DS or defensive specialist, a libero, and 3 front row hitters. The 3 front row hitters are referred to as the middle, the outside, and the right side. The out and right side are referred to as pin hitters. They are called this because they're on the outsides of the net where the antennas are or pins are located. During a play, each team is only allowed 3 touches per side. One player cannot touch the ball 2 times in a row. Another player must touch the ball before the ball can return to the same player. The back row is where the liberos, DSs, and sometimes the setters will be located. Their responsibilities are a huge part to this game. They're in charge of getting first ball, which can also be referred to as first touch. Next, after the back row players make the first pass, the setter comes into play. The setter is like the quarterback, except for a volleyball team. The setter is the playmaker and decides where she will send the ball and which hitter she will send it to. Based on where she sends it, one of the front row hitters will send the ball over the net, either by hitting, tipping, or getting it over how they can. Okay, so now let's move on to the rules of the game. So the rules of the game are simple. As previously stated, each team has 6 members on the court at all times. The players are not allowed to touch the net or cross under the net. That will be an automatic point for the other team. There are antennas located on both sides of the net. If a ball is played outside the 2 antennas, it is no longer playable and will be a point for the other team. Setters have one tricky rule that is sometimes difficult depending on where the pass lands. If the setter accidentally touched the ball twice during a set, instead of one fluid motion, it is called double and a point will be given to the other team. The other rules are pretty standard, such as if you hit a ball outside the court, then it's out, and that is obviously a point for the other team. Now that we have covered rules of the game, let's move on to reaction time. Reaction time is a huge deal in volleyball. It can make or break a team. The faster the reaction time that you have, the better. Breaking the game down, it sounds easy, but in the actual game, everything moves so fast. You have to watch the other team's movements to see where they are trying to send the ball. Watching the setter is also very important because the setter can be very tricky. You have to stay on your toes as she's setting the ball. As a hitter, you need to be ready to either move, to block, or to cover. Covering is basically something that every member on the team that is not blocking or swinging must do to prevent the ball from hitting the ground. If you are too slow, then you won't be able to recover the ball, especially if one of the opponent's hitters have an open spot to hit. You need to be able to move to that spot fast enough to beat the ball to the floor. So let's talk about what we covered today. Today we talked about the positions, rules, and how important reaction time is. This game has been a huge part of my life for the last 10 years, and I really enjoyed getting to explain the game to all of you, and I hope that everyone feels like you have a better knowledge of the game of volleyball.